My name is Margaret Hayes. I am 62 years old. I live alone in a small wooden house near the edge of town. My husband passed away 10 years ago, and my only son, Ethan, moved to this city many years before that. Every morning I wake up early. I make coffee and sit by the window. The house feels too quiet. I look at old photos of Ethan when he was a little boy. Ethan calls me sometimes. He says, "Mom, I miss you. I will come visit soon." But months pass and he does not come. He sends money once or twice a year, but money cannot fill an empty house. One spring day, my phone rang. It was Ethan. His voice sounded happy. He said, "Mom, I have time off from work. Let me take you on a trip. We can go to the old forest cabin where we used to fish together." My heart felt warm for the first time in years. I packed a small bag with warm clothes and some food. Ethan arrived in his big car. He hugged me tightly and smiled. "You look good, Mom. This trip will be great for both of us." We drove for 3 hours into the deep forest. Tall trees covered the sky. The air smelled fresh and clean. Ethan talked about his job and his new apartment, but he did not ask about my life. The cabin was small but beautiful. It stood beside a quiet lake. We made a fire and cooked simple food. For 2 days we walked in the woods and remembered old stories. I felt happy like a mother again. On the third morning, Ethan said, "Mom, I need to check something in the car. Wait here and rest." I sat on the wooden porch with a cup of tea. The forest was peaceful and green. 30 minutes passed. Ethan did not return. I walked to the car, but it was gone. Only tire marks remained in the soft dirt. My hands began to shake. I called his name again and again. The trees swallowed my voice. No one answered. I sat on the ground and cried. Why would my only son leave me here? The sun moved across the sky. It became colder. I went inside the cabin and found a blanket. There was little food left. I tried to stay calm, but fear grew inside my chest. Night came. Wolves howled in the distance. I locked the door and sat in the dark. Tears fell on my old hands. I whispered, "Ethan, please come back. I am your mother." Morning light came slowly. I walked outside and looked for the road. My legs felt weak. I followed the tire marks for a long time, but the forest was too big. I became lost. Hunger made my stomach hurt. I found some berries and ate them carefully. Water came from a small stream. I kept walking and praying that someone would find me. 2 days passed. My clothes were dirty. My feet had blisters. I sat under a big tree and remembered Ethan's childhood smile. How could the boy I raised leave me to die alone? On the third night, I heard voices. A man and a woman with flashlights came near. They were forest rangers named Tom and Sarah. They looked shocked when they saw me. "Ma'am, are you okay? What happened?" I told them everything with a weak voice. They gave me water and warm soup from their bag. Sarah held my hand and said, "You are safe now. We will take you to our cabin." For the first time in days, I felt a little hope. Tom and Sarah lived in a small house near the forest station. They were kind people with 2 grown children who lived far away. They gave me a clean bed and hot food. Sarah sat with me while I cried. The next morning, Tom went to search for my son. He came back with a serious face. "Margaret, we found the car. It was empty. We are still looking." I nodded, but my heart already knew the truth. Days turned into weeks. I stayed with Tom and Sarah. They treated me like family. Sarah cooked my favorite simple meals. Tom fixed a chair so I could sit by the window and watch the trees. One evening, a police officer visited. He spoke softly. "Mrs. Hayes, we found your son. His car crashed on the mountain road after he left the forest. He did not survive." My world went silent. I could not speak for a long time. I cried for many nights. Even after what Ethan did, I still loved him. I prayed for his soul. Sarah held me and said, "Some children forget their hearts, but you still have yours. That is your strength." Tom and Sarah never asked me to leave. Their home became my home. Their children came to visit and called me Grandma Maggie. They brought flowers and stories that made me smile again. Spring turned to summer. I helped Sarah plant vegetables in the garden. The work made my hands busy and my heart lighter. At night we sat outside and looked at the stars. The forest no longer felt scary. I thought about my old house often. It was sold now, just like my old life. But here, among kind strangers, I found something I never expected: real love and care. One quiet afternoon, I sat with Sarah on the porch. I said I was left in the forest to die, but I was found by angels. She smiled and hugged me. "You deserve this peace, Margaret." Tom built me a small reading corner with books from the town library. I read simple stories every day and felt my English become stronger too. Life moved slowly but gently. Years passed. My hair became whiter, but my heart felt younger. I told my story to visitors sometimes. Young people listened with wide eyes. They learned that family is not only blood, but also kindness. I still miss Ethan. Sometimes I look at his old photo and whisper, "I forgive you, my son." The pain never fully left, but it became softer, like an old scar. Tom and Sarah grew older too, but our little family stayed strong. We cooked together, laughed together, and supported each other. The forest that once tried to take me now protected me. One winter evening, we sat by the warm fire. I looked at their faces and said, "My son left me in the forest, but God sent me a new family." Tears of gratitude filled my eyes. They held my hands without words. If you are reading this story, remember, even in the darkest forest, light can find you. Kind hearts are everywhere. Never lose hope, even when the ones you love hurt you the most. My name is Margaret Hayes. I am still here, still breathing, still grateful. The forest taught me that endings can become new beginnings.